Hello, welcome to Operation Remote Resilience. My name is Lisa Blair and I'm a certified Warriors of Ease teacher. Today I will be your guide through a gentle chair yoga class designed to de-stress and get back in touch with your breath. So take a comfortable seat and line your feet up straight ahead, your knees over your feet, and let your palms rest on your thighs. Lengthen the torso up and then let the shoulders relax down from the ears. And if you'd like to close your eyes or keeping your eyes open, maybe keeping a soft gaze at some point on the floor. And let's just start with working with our breath. So just noticing to start with, not trying to control the breath. And notice the origin of the breath. Do you feel the breath moving from the action of the diaphragm, the base of the lungs? And breathing with the diaphragm gives you a little fuller breath, more satisfying breath. And notice if you feel the breath filling from the bottom up. What's the quality of the breath? So steady, even exhales and inhales. Or is the breath a little more rapid? So tuning into your breath and just noticing what you may need to change to feel a little more rooted, a little more grounded, a little more stable. So full steady inhale and bringing your fingers to the belly, fingertips facing each other. And again, shoulders relax down, feeling the support of the floor underneath you. And as you inhale, as the breath completely fills up from the bottom to the top, notice how the belly expands out, so the fingers move away from each other. So using this tactile cue, just to tune into your breath. And again, your natural breath. Bringing the fingers to the ribs. And notice that contraction of the muscles between the ribs, also helping to breathe. So everything working together, not really having to think about it too much, just taking this time right now to notice it. And as the exhale releases the breath out, you notice the fingertips then will start to move together again. So again, bring the hands back to the thighs, lengthen the torso up, unclench the jaw, and breathing. So what's the rhythm of the breath? Are all the inhales about the same, or all the exhales about the same? And no right answer. And finding what's that balance for you. And if possible, moving the breath through the nose, keeping the mouth closed, unless you have any nasal congestion or anything going on, helps you to tap in a little more power into the breath. And feeling the support underneath you, your feet into the floor, the backs of the legs into the chair, And from that grounding, as you extend up with breath, and then opening your eyes if you have your eyes open, looking up, and just taking a moment to see how that beginning breath work landed in your body. And knowing that you always have that throughout the day as a resource if you ever feel like you need a little more grounding, if you feel a little unsettled, always the ability to come back to breath. So many of you may have been sitting at a desk all day or maybe coming off of your shift, ready to go into your shift. So let's start with some gentle warm-ups with the neck. So we hold a lot of tension in our neck and our hands, especially when we're doing computer work. So to start with, and I'll be mirroring you, look to the left. And again, keep the shoulders relaxed down. And maybe not taking it to your furthest edge of this right from the beginning. Just feeling that nice stretch from the around the ears, down the neck, maybe even into the shoulder. And breathing. Look to the other direction. Maybe feeling the muscles in the scalp around the ears start to relax just a little bit. And again, not forcing it. Back again to center. And now moving the left ear in the direction of the left shoulder. And resist the urge for the shoulder to come up and meet the ear. It's fine. There's plenty of space there. And noticing how changing the angle of the neck changes the stretch just a little bit. So maybe now you feel it more into the jaw and maybe even into the front of the neck, the throat. And taking the opportunity to breathe, maybe taking it a little deeper. Back again to neutral. And taking it in the other direction. And just letting the weight of the head do the work. No extra force needed here. Back again to neutral. And now bending the neck forward. So the neck, as well as the back, moves in 6 directions. And so we start off by taking advantage of all 6 directions. Maybe even lean forward slightly at the hip hinge. Letting the shoulders round slightly, letting the spine start to decompress. And ensuring that you are not tucking your chin into your throat so that you're leaving plenty of room for breathing. Back again to neutral. And now look up right past where the wall meets the ceiling. Not letting the head completely drop back. And so we move the neck side to side, we turn the head, and then we nod back and forth. Now, moving from that static stretch into a little more of a dynamic action. Look to the left, and very deliberately moving again to the other side. And so we go from static too dynamic. And these movements seem very small, but just because they're small doesn't mean that they don't do a lot to open up. So we open up the smaller muscles before we work with the bigger muscles. And then, so you're nodding your head yes. And again, start to notice where you're feeling place where maybe it's a little bit stuck, maybe where you need to put a little more attention. So bringing your attention to you. And as always, noticing the strong foundation of sitting in the chair, your feet into the floor, backs of the legs into the chair. And then last movement here. Bring your chin to the left shoulder. As though tracing a semicircle from one side to the other. Now stop and move your head a little bit, maybe open and close your jaw, and hopefully maybe you're a little freer here. Again, we tend to really stress our face up when we're doing things, looking at the computer. So now moving to the shoulders, bring your fingertips to the tops of the shoulders, bring your elbows out in front. Sitting up tall, checking that the knees are still moving forward over the feet. And then coming the other direction and noticing your range of motion. Does it feel a little tighter when you move the elbows back? Maybe when you move the elbows forward. So no right answer. Just checking in with where you are. Okay, so bringing one hand up, if anyone here can remember driving with turn signals. I guess if you're riding a bicycle, you're using them anyway. So that would be the right turn signal here. Now, start to pull the elbow back away from you and resist with the other shoulder. And noticing that opening with the pecs over the top of the chest. And breathing. Bring that down, take it to the other side. I guess if I was driving a car, it would probably be more appropriate for my left hand to be doing the turn signals. And pulling your elbow back again, resist with the other one. So again, simple movements, but just starting to open up. So moving from the neck to the shoulders, then we'll move on from there. So hold on to your left tricep with your right hand. Make sure that the shoulder comes down and just stretching that arm overhead. Sorry, across. And breathing. So there are very few activities that are better when you hold your breath, probably swimming underwater, but other than that, breathing is a good thing. Release that down. Bring it to the other side. Okay, now moving on to the wrists. Bring your hands out in front of you, the fingers up, let them flip down, let them flip up. So back and forth again. If you've been spending time on a keyboard, you probably feel pretty good. And so any combination of these things at any time during the day, you could stretch your neck, you could stretch your shoulders. So Again, looking out for you. And just flip them around. Notice a little bit of snap, crackle, pop as you do that. That's fine. Okay. And again, line up. Strong foundation, so the feet and knees straight ahead, sitting up tall, keeping the sits bones rooted into the chair, and start to turn to the left. And you're in charge of how far you go. So using your left hand on the back of the chair, and again, keeping the chest open, the shoulders moving back, maybe the other hand for leverage on your thigh. And breathing. Back to center, and then taking that to the second side. Keeping the spine long, ears in line with the shoulders. And noticing from the support of your feet and legs, the grounding, and from that, the ability to twist. So we did the neck in 6 different directions, and so now we'll work with the spine. So starting with twisting, back into neutral, and make sure you have a good foundation to feed into the chair. And you can hold on for support with your left hand and raising your right arm underneath, so taking it to side bending here. Make sure that you keep your head back so it's in line with the arm. And notice that stretch from the fingertips to the armpit all the way down to the hip. So twisting the spine is a side bend. And breathing. Back to neutral and taking it to the other side. Okay, back again to center. Scoot forward just a little bit, but make sure you're still secure on your chair, of course. Again, second toe straight ahead, knees over the feet, and starting to work again with breath. And notice what breath is more natural for you. For most people, the exhale coming in and the inhale coming out. So kind of explore that on your own. So hinging forward, letting the back round, keeping that space between the chin and the throat so that you have plenty of room to breathe. And then letting the shoulders move back, chest opens up, looking up at the ceiling, not letting the head completely drop back. And articulating through each vertebrae of the spine. And again, explore adding breath to that too. So this is seated cat-cow pose. Coming forward. And extending out. And again, you're in charge of how big you make these movements. Okay, one more round. So back up to neutral again. And again, scooting just a little bit forward, but make sure you've got a secure seat. And bringing your left leg out. And bending forward, pressing the heel in. And noticing a stretch down the back of the leg maybe. Coming forward again, maybe again, making sure you're secure, and then coming forward again. So torso is long, chest is open, neck is in line with the spine, and coming forward. Coming back again, bring the left foot forward again, the knee is bent, pressing into this right foot for support. Hips are level, reach the arms out, pull the arm bones into the shoulder sockets, and extend up. And keeping the torso long, pressing the feet into the mat, and breathing. Let the arms go down. Reverse the feet. So this is a seated variation of Warrior One pose. And breathing. Notice if the shoulders are starting to creep up to the ears. And let them relax down. Keeping the neck long. And release that down. So come at a slight angle and bringing the right foot in front and the left foot same direction, and open the arms wide and flip your palms up so that the upper arms rotate outward. And keeping the rotation of the upper arms, let the lower arms, the fingers are facing the floor, shoulders are relaxed down. This is variation of Warrior Two pose. Let the hands come down and then taking it to the other side. So line up again, make sure you're secure on the chair. Line up your feet to face and setting your gaze over that front arm. And breathing, feeling that nice stretch in the chest, the arms. And breathing. Let the arms go. Moving again to the right. Again, I'm mirroring you. And lean forward slightly. The palm faces up with the right hand. And bringing the arm overhead into a variation of side angle pose. Feeling the stretch here all the way down from the armpit down to the hip, from the fingertips to the armpit. Release that down. And taking it to the other side. So you've got the bottom arm kind of as a pivot point. And from that strong foundation, the ability to extend out. And breathing. Bring the other arm up. And come back to center and taking a moment to see how that landed in your body. And we'll just do a couple more seated stretches here before we start to go into our closure here. So holding on to your left hand with your right wrist, the arms are on either side of your body, and just pull yourself over. And again, notice the strong foundation of your feet into the mat, backs of your legs into the chair, and breathing. Coming back to center, and take it to the other side. So finishing off with another side body stretch here. And back to center. So just as we started, line up your second toes straight ahead, knees over the toes. And feel free to close your eyes or just soft gaze, whatever makes you feel at ease. And breathing. And checking in with your feet, the feeling of your feet supporting you, and from that support, being able to extend up. Crown of the head feels like it's maybe reaching towards the ceiling. Shoulders relax down. Feeling the backs of the legs into the seat of the chair. The back against the chair. And if possible, breathing with your mouth closed to generate a little more heat. And nothing to do for a couple minutes, but just breathe. If you'd like to do a little body scan going through the hands, the feet, the face, noticing if you're holding any tension anywhere, inviting that to leave. Nothing to focus on but breath. As though you were watching yourself breathe. Notice any sounds in the room. Perhaps tuning into the temperature of the room. And just noticing it. And if you have your eyes closed, open the eyes, soft gaze out. And thank you so much for joining me as part of Operation Remote Resilience. Please consider visiting the link below to make a donation, ensuring the continued accessibility of resources like these. Supporters like you make it possible for Warriors at Ease teachers like me to continue to serve those who served. This is Lisa Blair signing off of Operation Remote Resilience in Health, Resilience, and Connection.